Well, hello and welcome to Jimbadism Total Notary channel. Today I will teach you how to install a new hard drive and also some safety around that, and basically install a new hard drive, replace a hard drive, or just add a new one. Indeed. Let's get into it with no further ado. Right, so here you have my computer. It's a tower PC, of course, and which this tutorial will cover. And yeah, safety first. This computer has been unplugged for many hours. You should definitely unplug your computer. You really should. You have to unplug your computer before mixing with its components. Otherwise you might get shocked, literally. It should also be unplugged for a few hours. It's better because the capacitors in the power supply unit, one moment, this one down here, you can see power supply right there, which is the unit that's connected to the which is the new unit that's connected to the power outlet. It has capacitors in it which can shock you when it's current stored up in them. They have pretty high voltages, and no matter what, you shouldn't open one of these. You should let them be. In any case, let's dive into it. This one has been unplugged because I did unplug it before I went to bed, and now it's a new day, so it's been unplugged for like, I don't know, 20 hours or something, which is better. Also, in this computer we have a lot of different components, and there is a small chance you can wreck some of these components with static current. You can buy wrist arm things to like remove static electricity, but I just do like this. Remove your socks, remove your shoes. Socks first, shoes later. And then you just stand on the ground like a normal human being. You can touch the chassis, which is usually grounded, and you should be pretty good to go. But don't touch components if you don't have to touch them, especially the conductive metal things and stuff like that. Alright, so to begin, where do we find the hard drive? Well, the hard drive is located there in a little rack, and it's connected to the motherboard right there. Let me light it up there with the processor. The thing with the processor that the graphics card is attached to is the motherboard. It's attached to a SATA cable, SATA cable for data transfer, and it's also connected to the power supply for power. And that's all the connections of a little hard drive. Right, so we'll begin with removing the old hard drive. Now, this is of course only if you actually want to remove the old hard drive. And if you remove the old hard drive, you should be aware that Windows, operative system, all your stored files, all installed programs, everything stored is on the hard drive. So, of course, you have made backups before you remove the hard drive. This is the hard drive anyways, and if you would replace this, you would just remove it, but you might want to copy over everything you need first. This little cable here is the SATA cable, and this is the power supply cable. Anyways, I'll use this I'm going to continue to use this, so I'll just put it in here again, basically. But one thing I want to do to make it easier for myself is I'm gonna move the power cable here to this end power cable here. Let's see here. Like that. So that I have better reach. I'm gonna put it in here. And its hard drives are usually installed in this kind of little racks, just like this one. There we have it. This is the hard drive. Brand fresh. Here it is. My 2 terabyte hard drive with 250 megabytes of flash RAM, which will make it faster in working stuff. To attach this to the motherboard, you also need this, a SATA cable. So different hard drives have different connections, but 99% of modern hard drives use this regular SATA connector, like this one here. It's 6 gigabytes per second transfer speed regular SATA cable. There are other variants. We have Express, and DVD drives use another type of SATA cable too. In any case, here we have, it's a simple cable, and you can see on the connection here we have it. It's a simple cable here, and you just wanna plug this in here. It looks like an L, and then it's connected just like that, like an L shape. And the connection beside that is the power supply. In a few rare cases, your power supply will actually be this little 4-pin thing that's right there. But that's less usual. It's usually this one. You'll see from your power supply what fits, but they're both just power. Alright, we'll begin to connect it to the motherboard. You can see here we have the motherboard, and this is a compact motherboard, so you can see the RAM sticks or the long things that goes up and down there. Normal size has 4 of these, and it's a little bit bigger, but they're usually kind of the same. If you zoom in here, you remove the cables here, you see we have SATA connection. This one that's here, this is the other hard drive, and because I haven't moved over any files from the old system to the new one, I will leave this in. Otherwise we could just connect in the new hard drive into that, but I want them both active at the same time. So what we will do is we will begin with connecting in the new SATA cable, which is pretty straightforward. I mean, I'm just going here. You find anywhere it sticks. You connect it. There we have it. It's now connected. Then for some cable management, this one goes on the back side of my chassis, but it's a little bit different with different chassis. Your main thing you should think about when putting the cables is that making the cables not stick or not get stuck in any of the fans. That's basically number one. Right, now I'll just need to move the computer around a little bit to take the cable out the other side and put it back in under the hard drive section, which I will show you in a little moment. And we'll go down here where we have our little cabinet for putting the hard drive. Alright, so here we have the power supply. Here we have the little rack thing that we can use to put a hard drive in. I'll bring some light too. You can see better. And we also have the SATA cable going through here. What we want to do is, of course, connect them up. So I'll take this one here, so I get better reach of the other ones. It's just the power, so it's not very important which one we choose. In any case, it's pretty funny because you might think that a very short cable for the SATA cable would mean less transfer time, but actually they have to be shorter than they have to be longer, longer than 30 centimeters, because otherwise it will be too fast and you might get some weird desyncing. Usually SATA cables are 30 centimeter or 50 centimeter. According to staff of the store I bought them, there is no like speed difference between the cable length. It's fine, it's not like HDMI. Anyways, stick it in the SATA cable it's attached to, and then we can put the hard drive in a rack. Placements of, they're not gonna jump around very much if it's not like some serious hardware problems. And we just have the sticker upwards. I don't think it matters at all, but anyways, why not? And it's now installed. Right. So now the hardware is installed. It's sitting in there right beside our other hard disk. We have two of them. It's installed, ready. We can now close the computer, make sure that all the connections are attached, plug it in and start up. Well, hello. Just a little addition here. So on your motherboard you have different types of SATA connections. I have the SATA Express, which is pretty fast and all. So for me it doesn't matter which port I connect anything to here, if it fits basically. However, if you use an older computer you might have SATA 3 or SATA 2 or SATA 1. SATA 3 is 6 gigabits per second, which is pretty fast and all for basically most hard drives. And then we have SATA 2. We have the 3 gigabit per second half speed of that, so make sure that your hard drive isn't faster than the SATA port you connect it to. On most newer motherboards this will not be a problem, but just so you know, in my case it doesn't matter which one of these I use. Alright, we're now in the computer. We connected the hard drive to the motherboard and the power supply and we started it up. How do we add this hard drive? Well, click Windows key X, then you have disk management, let it start up here. It's gonna load your configured, and if you never plugged it in before, which you haven't, it might ask you between two different file formats, an older one and a newer one, and you'll just select the one that's pre-checked, I'd recommend, which is the right one. Anyways, do like this. Here we have like 2 terabytes of unallocated space. You right click it and you select new simple volume. Next. You can make a smaller one, but this is the simple version. And just next. NTFS is the normal thing to do for Windows systems, and the next, and then just finish. Now I will do a little other way for myself, because I need to move over my entire system from the old drive to the new one, but that is a longer video, which this video will be part of, so check on the channel if you want to see how to do that. In any case, thank you very much for watching. This is your favorite host, Jimodism, on the Total Nerdery channel, signing out.